For over 3 years, the liberal media, especially MSNBC, have been advancing the phony Trump-Russia collusion narrative. Initially, it was hyped to destroy the Trump campaign, then it was promoted to destroy the Trump administration. The problem with this media campaign was there was never any evidence of Donald Trump colluding with the Russians. The main document cited as so-called proof was the unverified, salacious Steele dossier, compiled by a former British spy with assistance from Russian sources, and funded by the Clinton campaign. This political document should have been dismissed as a joke. Instead, it was used to obtain FISA warrants to spy on the Trump campaign and the new administration. Despite no evidence of any wrongdoing, a special counsel was hired and given almost $40 million and 2 years to assemble a team of partisan Democratic investigators to discover Russian collusion. Even this biased group of attorneys, led by Robert Mueller, a veteran of the deep state, made a definitive conclusion that neither the president nor his campaign colluded with Russia. The Mueller report should have ended the hysteria and closed an unfortunate chapter in American history. Instead, the liberal media never stopped promoting the full story. It has been part of the continuing effort to destroy President Donald Trump, both personally and professionally. Sadly, our current national news media is severely infected by a dangerous disease known as Trump derangement syndrome. In fact, the condition is so dire that it has destroyed any shred of credibility that was left in the media. The latest outrage occurred this week on MSNBC when faux journalist Lawrence O'Donnell breathlessly reported that the president may have had loan documents co-signed by dreaded Russian oligarchs. Supposedly, one source convinced O'Donnell to move forward with the story on his national cable show. It was never verified and, as usual, just like the Steele dossier, it was fabricated. The president's lawyers demanded a retraction, and on his next show O'Donnell had to respond to the growing criticism for hyping a fictitious story. Laughably, O'Donnell said that the story did not go through our rigorous verification and standards practice. If MSNBC had any verification and standards practice, half of their unhinged Trump stories would never air on their poor excuse of a cable news network. Eventually, O'Donnell apologized and said that, "I shouldn't have reported it and I was wrong to discuss it on the air." This lame apology did not satisfy Eric Trump, the president's son. He called the story a reckless attempt to slander our family and smear a great company. Trump said that the company would be taking legal action, and that such unethical behavior has to stop. It is a good step for Eric Trump to move forward with legal action, as it may serve to dissuade other liberal media outlets from promoting false stories with the sole purpose of harming the president and his family. O'Donnell and too many of his liberal media colleagues regularly report Trump-related stories with little or no verification. In this case, O'Donnell promoted the story based on a single source close to Deutsche Bank. The source claimed that the president needed the Russians to co-sign for his loan. Well, O'Donnell inflated that claim to make a ludicrous statement. He said that, if true, that would explain every kind word Donald Trump has ever said about Russia and Vladimir Putin. The United States and Russia need to have a working relationship for a variety of reasons, including vital national security. It is smart policy for our nation for President Trump to have regular dialogue with Vladimir Putin. This rationale is always dismissed by liberal media outlets, such as MSNBC, which believe every action President Trump takes toward Russia is a sign that he is hopelessly compromised. Regarding this absurd story, it was vigorously denied by President Trump. He tweeted that it was totally false, as is virtually everything else he, and much of the rest of the lamestream media, has said about me for years. White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham lambasted O'Donnell and MSNBC, noting that it is one of the reasons a majority of Americans have lost trust in the media. According to Grisham, instead of applying ethics and standards to their reporting, journalists and left-wing outlets have weaponized the media, using it to attack and harass people with little to no regard for the truth. Regarding this instance of journalistic malpractice, O'Donnell will neither be fired nor suffer any negative consequences for getting a major story wrong and slandering the President of the United States. It shows how real journalism has disappeared in this country, and journalistic credibility has never been lower. It is little wonder that in a recent Gallup poll there are only two professions that Americans rated lower than journalists: car salespeople and members of Congress. It is an embarrassing ranking that is well deserved for media professionals who are failing in their attempt to destroy President Trump but are succeeding in destroying journalism. Jeff Cruere is a native New Orleanian, and his award-winning program, Ringside Politics, airs locally at 7:30 p.m. Fridays and at 10 p.m. Sundays on PBS affiliate WLAE-TV, Channel 32, and from 7:11 a.m. Weekdays on WGS 0990 TAM. He is a political columnist, the author of America's Last Chance, and provides regular commentaries on the Jeff Cruere YouTube channel and on www.jeffcruere.com. For more information, email him at jeff@jeffcruere.com. Let's block ads. Why?